All right. What's up, LDBC? It's Darius, I am King here. I wanted to cover something, 78 even touched on this a while back, and a few other brothers in the LDBC. Shout out to the LDBC one time. Everybody keeping it real out here. But I want to talk about the transfer of hate right now that's going on in sport of boxing right now. And what's really going on, See, since Floyd walked away from the game, that transfer, that hate that all these racist people, the media and all these people have had for Floyd for all these years has been just transferred over to Andre Ward. And I want to get in depth and tell you guys why and break it down to why that hate has been transferred over to Andre Ward. It's about the fact of, and they really want Floyd to come back. And I'm going to tell you why they want Floyd to come back. It ain't they want Floyd to come back so he can beat Rocky Marciano record or none of that bullshit like they're trying to say, like, oh, he has to come back because he's only tied for the 49-0. Because first of all, that 49-0 is a heavyweight record. That's not a welterweight record because it's been, welterweights in history that have done, exceeded that number in lower weight class. That's a heavyweight record. That's first and foremost. All right, let's get that out the way first. What it is about is they want to see Floyd lose. That's all it's about. That's all it is about. They want to see the black fighter lose. What people don't forget, history tells you a lot. Muhammad Ali was not adored by the media and everything until he lost, because they can always say he got his ass beat by this person or that person, and then that person, who beat him like Spinks or whomever, Norton, they didn't mind that, okay, that person was black that beat him and wasn't white. They didn't mind because those people already had losses, you understand? Or they got losses later, you understand? They don't like the black dominant fighter. They can't stand it. It makes them sick to their stomach because at the end of the day, they know we're the superior being when it comes to this, come to athletics, period. You know what I mean? Like any sport that we choose that we want to do, we can take over, and that's just fact. If we want to, look, Tiger came in, took over golf. If we want to take over hockey, we can do that. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we can just do things that they can't do. And they've acknowledged that through history. But remember, back then, that's when they used to use their racism to discredit our athletic prowess and talents and be like, oh, well, he could take a punch because their head is thicker than ours, their skulls are thicker than ours. Oh, they run really fast because they used to be running from their masters and all this other bullshit they come up with, right? And so let me get back on topic though here. Now, they wanted Floyd. They thing is, a lot of them is they just want to see you lose. They want to see the black undefeated fighter lose. They got to take that L. Most of them, not all of them, because you do got some real ass fans out here that happen to be white and other races. You know what I'm saying? That don't think like that. But the majority of them, they do. The majority of them hate to see the black man being on top of the face of any sport. That's why when you see him, anything that happens that Floyd did during his career, he was always under a microscope. Where you can see a white fighter doing the same thing, like Jim Lampley. Jim Lampley done been arrested for beating a woman so many times, but he had the same. Oh, that same guy sit there criticize Floyd about a domestic case when he got domestic cases that's open. You know what I mean? So what does that tell you? You know what I mean? It's blatant. And they always try to discredit him, Max Kellerman talking about even though Floyd beat Manny head-to-head, Pacquiao is still the best fighter of this generation. How the hell does that even make sense? How in the hell look, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan because that's my hometown. You know, I live in Cali now, but Charlotte's my hometown. You understand? So I'm a Panthers fan. And that's the same thing as me saying, you know what? You know, we're better than the Broncos. Even though the Broncos beat us in the Super Bowl, that don't make no damn sense. It don't make sense. You can't lose to a person and then still say you're better. No, come on, man. Come on, Max. See, because he's pushing that narrative. Max don't believe it. See, but he has to push that HBO narrative that they want out there. And then see, the decline of HBO, to be truthful with you, started when Floyd left. Because see, they discredited that man every step of the way. Never wanted to give that man his credit for nothing that he accomplished, man. And so Floyd, like, you know what? Kick rocks. I'm about to go over here to Showtime and get this Showtime money. And guess what? When Floyd left, everybody else followed suit. And then they got left with what? Really nothing. Basically, they got left with the top-ranked fighters, with all the top guys over on the Showtime side, on the PBC side. But guess what? If they respected this black man, gave this man the credit that he deserved, HBO would still be the number one leader in boxing. See, but they hatred for the black man and the black fighter got in the way of business. You understand? It got in the way of them being able to do good business. And then with Floyd leaving, guess what? It fueled their hatred for him even more. Because they felt, see, this how arrogant the racist media and commentators are. They felt like Floyd should have sucked it up and took that criticism. I mean, think about this. Y'all remember when they was, every fight, you know, after Shane Mosley was calling Floyd out or whatnot. And how out there, are you going to fight Mosley? Are you going to fight Mosley? You know, blah, 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 right? Next fight, Floyd, okay, after Shane got in the ring, after Floyd had just dominated Marquez, and Shane got in the ring running his damn mouth, what Floyd do? The very next fight, even though they say he won't fight Shane, signs to fight Shane. What do they do immediately? Start to discredit it automatically. During the fight, go back and watch the Shane Mosley fight. When Floyd was sitting up, while Floyd was dominating him, how Jim Lampley started trying to come up with excuses, talking about asking Emmanuel Stewart. He had a training camp for the Berto fight. You know, then that fight fell out, and then he started training camp again for this fight. Do you think that has anything to do with it? Because he was trying to discredit that man and what he was doing in the ring. And even I'm gonna stick on Shane Mosley for a second, because everybody talk about how Floyd fought guys at the right time. First of all, Floyd was chasing Shane Mosley for years. He was chasing De La Hoya for years before he got those guys. You can go and look it up, where he was calling these guys out when they was a weight class above him. Shane Mosley was running from him. Every time Floyd would get in position where he can fight Shane, Shane would leave the weight class because he didn't want that work. He would leave the weight class. That's what was going on, and that's fact. You can look that up. He did an interview post-fight with Larry Merchant. You can look it up, where Larry Merchant was saying, like, hey, Floyd is calling you out. Like, you gonna take that fight? Shane blatantly said he ain't fighting Floyd right now. That's not a fight he's interested in right now. See, but they don't want to talk about that. They try to tell you he fought Shane at the right time. How he fight Shane at the right time when he was calling out Shane for several years before Shane didn't want to fight Floyd until Floyd was the man in boxing. True facts. That's when he wanted to fight Floyd. He didn't want to fight Floyd when Floyd was making his rise through the ranks, beating everybody. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to tell you that. They don't tell you how when he fought Gennaro Hernandez for his first world title fight with less than 20 fights, how they would talk shit about Floyd, talking about how arrogant he is to think he's finna, with the amount of fights he got, he finna get in the ring with a Gennaro Hernandez. And what he do, he go in there and dominate that man, stop that man. And guess what? Now they downplay it later. Of course, they downplay it after he dominates him. He gets no credit for it. That's how it goes. You know what I'm saying, with the black fighter. We do what they say we can't do or won't do, and then we don't get the credit when we do it. You know what I mean? We don't get it. You know, when with Ricky Hatton, you know, Manuel Stewart picked Ricky, said that, and he even said it on the telecast that after the fight that this is exactly what Manuel Stewart said. Either he was gonna look his best and Ricky Hatton was gonna bring his best out of Floyd, or Floyd was gonna lose. So that tells you what they thought of Hatton as a fighter prior to him fighting him. Then what they do later, they start talking about, oh, well, Hatton was really a 140-pound fighter. But guess what? Even if Hatton was really a 140-pound fighter, Hatton started his career at 140. Floyd didn't start at 140. Floyd started at featherweight. So Floyd was still naturally the smaller guy. Floyd was never really a welterweight. That's what makes Floyd, in my opinion, that's what makes the things that this man accomplished in boxing great and astronomical, because this man was basically fighting guys at his walk-around weight, man. You know what I'm saying? I done been around the guy. I done met the guy. I mean, I got the sparring footage on my page where I done sparring at the Mayweather gym. You understand? So I ain't got the lie to kick it. And this is a small dude, man. He's a small man. If anybody in LDBC that ever met Floyd, they know he's a small dude. Floyd can still make Floyd can make 135 if he wanted to, and wouldn't have to suffer that much. So if you think about it, a man that can make 135 without having to suffer a lot, but fall all the way up at 154, all the way up to 154. So always fighting guys that's 15, 20 pounds bigger than him on fight night. Gets no credit for it. He fighting nobodies. You know what I'm saying? But what's crazy is Manny Pacquiao come right behind him and fight the same guys, and he get all the credit for it. He get all the credit for it. You know what I mean? Because like I said, Floyd, and see, Floyd is what you would call, he that fish that got away. Because they ain't get to damage him mentally and physically leaving the sport. He got to leave the sport on his terms when he wanted to get out the game, with all his senses, all his faculties, and all his damn money. And they don't like that. They like you to get the black fighter to get retired from the sport. That's how they like it. They like you to be retired from the sport, by the sport, and broke. That's how they like it. They never liked Tyson and all these guys that they try to throw in the face. What they do is they try to use other black fighters as a smokescreen to hide their racism. So they'll try to bring up another black fighter that they don't like either and be like, see, this guy, you know, he's really great. Tyson really did this, he really did that. Lennox did this, Lennox did that. They didn't like none of them. But they used that guy to try to tear down the black guy and his accomplishments. You know what I mean? That's how that shit going, boxing, man. Boxing is the most racist sport there is. It's always been that way. Think about it. Joe Louis had to sign away his money on all his future fights to get a title shot. Jack Johnson was the first one to break through to be able to get a title shot against white men. They was only allowed to fight other black fighters. You understand? This sport has been racist from the beginning because they always knew the black fighter was going to be the superior fighter. That's why they tried to keep us out for as long as they could. You know what I mean? And that's real shit. And so they hate the fact that Floyd was able to retire with his O. They don't like to be able to say he's 49-0. They don't like it. And see, and that's all Floyd got to say to these guys when they start talking that shit. That's all Floyd got over his mouth to say, 49-0. Well, Floyd did it, 49-0. Floyd did it, 49-0. That's all they got to say. That's all. Because at the end of the day, that's what's in black and white. They keep trying to go back to a Castillo fight. But you know what? Even if, let's say this, okay. First of all, look at the Castillo 1 fight. People don't want to talk about Floyd had to have surgery after the fight because Floyd fought that fight going into the fight with one hand. And still was able to pull out the victory. Was it a close fight? Yes, it was a close fight. And I'm gonna speak from the standpoint from that moment in time. If somebody want to say, oh, Castillo won the fight, and the judges said Castillo won the fight, I wouldn't have argued it because it was a close fight. I wouldn't argue it because it was a close fight. And that was one of those fights of what do you like, as far as what was going on in the fight. But what did Floyd do immediately? So, damn it, let's go again. Then he whitewashed him the second time. They said Maidana won that fight, the first fight, blah, blah, blah. So Floyd said, you know what? Since that's how y'all feel, I'm gonna go in there and fight him again. I'm gonna whitewash him this time again. And then, of course, they talk shit, say he cherry-picked him. Like, how did he cherry-pick a guy that a lot of y'all trying to say won the damn fight? Because they knew he didn't lose the fight. They knew Floyd didn't lose the fight. But that they just wanted to be able to walk around and say that. Just like they wanted to be able to walk around and say Castillo beat him. See, but Floyd is one of those fighters where, so y'all walking around saying this about me? Y'all saying Castillo beat me? Y'all saying Maidana beat me? Okay, well, I'm going to go and fight them again to show y'all that these boys can't fuck with me. And so he cleaned that up so that you can't talk about a guy beating him. Made sure that people knew I'm the superior being at this time in that weight class. And I'm fighting these bigger men on top of that. And they can't get rid of me. They can't beat me. I'm still beating them. You know what I mean? So now the transfer of hate from Floyd has went over to Andre Ward. Because, see, now they see Andre Ward as the number one threat for the black fighter to be the next one in line to fuck around, retire undefeated, with his money, with his health. And they don't want that. That's why the hate went from him to Andre Ward. You understand that? It's all about racism. Joe Calzaghe fought his whole career over there in the UK, not trying to discredit him at all. And anything that he accomplished, because he beat some good fighters along the way. Yeah, he ducked Roy Jones in his prime and stayed his ass over there in the UK. You know what I'm saying? And waited till Roy was old and washed up before he fought him. But let's just give him a pass on that for the sake of that. But you don't never hear him discredit anything that he done. Ever. And he can't hold the candle to what Floyd accomplished, right? Okay. But, okay, let's get back here. Andre Ward, Olympic gold medalist, ain't lost a fight since he was 12 years old. I mean, really, have you seen Andre Ward in a close tooth and nail fight? Let's be honest, have you? Can somebody tell me the fight that they seen him in that went tooth and nail? Yeah, he got hurt in the Darnell Boone fight, but we all, know what happened in the fight. He still beat him, and still beat him easy. Yeah, he got dropped in the fight, but he still dominated him. And see, that's the funny thing, how they'll pick out the fact that, he got dropped and got hurt in the fight. That's what they talk about now. They weren't talking about that years ago, but they talk about it now. And it's like, you talking about a fight where a guy knocked me down and I whooped his ass still, the whole fight. Come on. Really? Instead of talking about the heart and the mental resolve that I showed in the fight to be able to bounce back from getting dropped and commence to dominating this guy, y'all want to talk about me getting dropped. Come on, man. Look, as a fighter, we know what we signed up for. We sign up for the fact that we know it's a chance that we can get hurt badly in the ring and all that good shit. And guess what? It's going to come a time, I don't give a fuck how great you are as a fighter. White, black, or Latino, whatever nationality you are. You going to get buzzed in a fight. You going to get hurt. I got hurt in my second pro fight, and I still wasn't shamed. I wasn't shamed to the point where I'm like, I ain't going to put that video up on my page. No, it's on the page. And guess what I did? I bounced back in that fight, whooped that ass, commenced to dominating. Because that's what you do when you got hard. You know what I'm saying? You understand that, hey, that's come with this territory. This the hurt business. So it's not something that I'm going to be spooked by when it happened. Andre Ward wasn't spooked when it happened. He commenced to whooping that ass. And so, like I said, once Floyd retired, now that hate went over to Andre Ward. Because they don't want to see him retire undefeated. That's why now they already discrediting the Kovalev victory that they know that's coming on November 19th. You know, Kovalev was the boogeyman. Remember they came with this bullshit ass murderous row. Thundercrack them was talking about how Floyd them would, that Ward won't fight Berta Biedev and Shabinsky and Kovalev. He won't fight them guys. First and foremost, Shabinsky turned down the fight, but they want to talk about, oh, he didn't offer him enough money. How you know what the hell he offered him? There was nothing released saying that Ward offered him X amount of dollars or lowballed him on it. No. Shabinsky just didn't want the fight. And there was never a number that was released on that. So cut the shit, man. Cut it. Then he signs to fight Kovalev, the same guy part of this so-called murderous row, which, remember, that started with black people, black fighters. Now all of a sudden, they trying to steal that like they stole everything else, and they want to try to call it, now they want to make up a white murderous row. Okay? So he fighting the head honcho out of that murderous row. Now all of a sudden, that head honcho Kovalev, oh, he only beat a 50-year-old Bernard Hopkins. But when he beat Bernard Hopkins, it was, oh, nobody ever done Bernard Hopkins like that. They weren't talking about Bernard Hopkins being 50 years old when it happened. Now all of a sudden, now it's, you know, that win Kovalev got don't mean shit. Now all of a sudden, the win that the 2 wins he got over John Pascal don't mean shit. But that meant they meant a hell of a lot before the fight got signed for them to fight each other. It meant a hell of a lot before then. But now those fights don't mean shit. So what does that tell you? See, Ward ain't gonna get credit for it, but he gonna get credit from me. He gonna get credit from the LDBC. He gonna get credit from 78. He gonna get credit from Blood. He gonna get credit from TownBizz. He gonna get credit from Coach. He gonna get credit from Dream Chasing Boxing. He gonna get credit from Ticket TV. He gonna get credit from the LDBC, period. If I forgot anybody, hey, it ain't nothing personal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just naming it off. The LDBC in the whole. He gonna get credit from us. And guess what? It worked both ways. If Kovalev wins this fight, he's gonna get credit from us. Cause we call it straight down the line. We ain't with the bullshit, bruh. We ain't with the bullshit over here. We call it for what it is. See, they don't do that over there on the other side over in the YTBC. They don't do that. That's why we had to break away from them clowns and get together and do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to get rid of all that confusion, all that hatred, all the racism bullshit, and just talk about boxing. That's what it's about. It's about boxing. It ain't about all this other bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but back to it. So all the hate that they had for Floyd is going over to Ward because see, Ward now is the new threat to retire undefeated with all his money and all his faculties and his health. He's that new threat that they don't want that. Somebody got to get Ward for them. That's how they looking at it. That's why they like, oh, leave Triple G alone, go up there and fight Kovalev. See, because they didn't expect Ward to be like, okay, cool, I'll do that. HBO, let me get 2 warm-up fights at 75 so I can get my body acclimated to it so I can make sure I'm able to carry this weight right and not have balance issues. And then I'll fight Kovalev in the 3rd fight. I remember from day one when he made the 3-fight deal, he'd never fight Kovalev. He's not going to fight Kovalev. Even though he signed for that, that was the stipulation on his deal. They still didn't believe he was going to do it. Now he signs it, and now Kovalev ain't shit. And then you got those other ones that still thinks Kovalev the shit, which is only a few of them left that thinks Kovalev the shit. But you got those small group over there that's sitting there saying, "Oh, Ward's gonna pull out the fight. He's gonna fake an injury to get out the fight." Don't that shit sound familiar? Remember they were saying that shit about Floyd when he signed the Manny fight. You remember? He gonna find a way to get out the fight. It's all bullshit, man. That's all it is. It's hate for the black fighter, man, because we're dominant. You know what I'm saying? American boxing is ran by the black fighter and the Latino fighter. And that's just fact, man. And the homie TownBizz, I was just checking out his video. Go check it out. Great video he just did talking about, the Ward Kovalev situation. He brought up, the same thing about what Blood's saying about the white American fighters don't exist. They got Caleb Plant. But I made a comment on that video and I said, Caleb Plant, see, they gonna treat him like a black fighter because he fucks with Al Heyman. So they ain't even gonna claim him because he fuck with Al Heyman. And remember, Al Heyman the enemy. So they ain't gonna fuck with Caleb Plant. So Caleb Plant gonna be viewed as the nigger lover. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't even gonna fuck with him at all. So they gonna keep clinging on to Triple G. That's why they okay with Triple G fighting mediocre fighters. You know what I mean? Because think about it, think about it. They asking for Floyd to fight Triple G. Floyd done moved up 5 weight classes. But they want Floyd to go move up again to fight Triple G, move up 2 more weight classes, basically to 160. Well, let's just say 1, because Floyd fought at 54. You know what I mean? You want to move up another weight class and go fight Triple G. A man that's going to be 180 pounds in the damn ring on fight night. Floyd going to get in the ring at 150 something. You know why they want that? Not because they saying challenge yourself to be great and all that other bullshit. No, because they looking at that, you know what, that's a good chance for Floyd to lose right there. He done been beating bigger guys who been 15, 20 pounds bigger than him, but they ain't been 30 pounds bigger than him. They ain't been that much bigger than him. And I think Triple G be the one to get it done. That's all it's about. Put him at a disadvantage that he can't overcome. That's what it's about. But I will still put my money on Floyd to beat Triple G because he's just that much more skillful than Triple G. You know what I mean? But it'd be a very dangerous fight for Floyd. Floyd don't need to fuck with that. You know what I mean? He don't need to fuck with that. There's weight classes in boxing for a reason, man. It's weight classes for a reason. And Triple G don't have to challenge himself to be great. You know what I'm saying? That man been a pro for how long? And he's been in the same weight class the whole time, and they still saying it's okay for him to stay in the weight class. They said that nobody in the weight class want to fight him, but they cool with him staying there fighting mediocre guys. Come on, how that work? Can y'all imagine them being okay with Andre Ward doing that at 68 if him just staying there with nobody wanting to fight him? And him just start fighting the bottom of the barrel guys? Come on. It won't work. Same thing with Floyd. Nope, it won't work. You know what I'm saying? Like they riding, a lot of them, they riding Errol Spence nuts right now, right? You know why they riding his nuts? Because they see the vulnerability in him. They feel like Errol Spence gonna get beat eventually. So they cool with that. See, they cool with the black fighters that got L's on their records. Or that they feel like it's a matter of time before they get the L. See, but when they see a guy that's special like Ward and a special fighter like Floyd, where they can't find a fighter in or around their division that can beat them, they ain't cool with that shit. So now they got to go and break down their resume and try to tear it apart piece by piece. Piece by piece. You know what I mean? Like, remember when the Floyd situation, when Manny was going on, how you had guys literally like the radio, like look at the radio dude, the little dumbass white boy on the radio trying to tell the Rude Jude dude. He used to be on fucking talk shows and shit. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, so what are you on steroids? If you're the best, you should fight him anyway. What? So I gotta so I should be fighting a man that's juiced the fuck up. Cause you wanna see me lose that bad. That bad, you wanna see me lose. And then look how Floyd, he's the pioneer of this random blood and urine testing. But you see how the HBO try to credit Donaire for it. Come on, man. That's all it's about, man. They don't like to see black fighters on top. And they just need to get used to it that we're going to always be on top. We're going to always be on top. I'm going to tell you something now. I done fought a lot of white boys in the amateurs, and I whooped their ass, every last one of them, in the amateurs. I ain't fought one as a pro yet, but in the amateurs, I whooped every last one of them badly. Whooped their ass. They can't fight. It is what it is. Like Blood said, the strong ones over there in Europe, they kicked these weak ones out and sent them over here. They kicked the weak ones out and sent them over here. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to talk that race shit, we can talk that race shit too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we're gonna have to defend our brothers. You know, as far as our black fighters, I'm gonna include myself in it because I'm a fighter. So and we can't allow these people to tear down our brothers and our and accomplishments that they made in the sport. We can't allow it to happen. You know, some of us, you see some of our brothers over there on the YTBC over there cooning, man, and it's sad because they over there trying to appease their master. Yes, I'm master. You like that? You like that? You like how I just did? You like that video I just did, master? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I just broke him down, didn't I, master? I broke him down. You see, I made his resume look real bad, didn't I, master? And then that sitting there thinking the master, they're thinking that white man and them people over there that they trying to appease, liking them and shit, and they talking shit laughing at they dumb ass. They sitting there cracking jokes like, look at the nigga trying to get our approval, trying to be on our side. Man, just keep, man, we'll be cool with him. We'll act like we cool with him as long as he keep doing our dirty work for us. So, man, stop it, man. Andre Ward's the truth. You know what I'm saying? I know boxing, man. I've been doing it my whole life, man. He's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before in other videos, I study him. I study Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And I take bits and pieces of their game, man, and I've incorporated it in my style, man, because I respect greatness when I see it. You know? So shout out to the LDBC. Like I said, ain't nothing but the transfer of hate from Floyd to Ward now, because now Ward is the #1 target. They want to get that O off his record. You know? And I'm going to tell you now, I don't think they're going to get it, man. I don't think the only threat that I see out there in boxing for Ward is Adonis Stevenson. That's the only threat, because Adonis Stevenson way better than what people give him credit for, man. They talking about he a one-trick pony. No, that's just what they see. That's just what they see. He got more to him than that. You know what I'm saying? He got far more to him than that. That's the real threat to him, is another black fighter, not the white boy, not Kovalev. Kovalev, you know, he got a punch a chance. I give him that any man that get in that ring got a chance to pull off the upset or pull off the win. But I just don't see how he can do it, because every aspect of the game, other than the power, Ward is far superior than him. Far superior. And like anybody know, power can be neutralized. I can smother your power. I can take your power away from you. I can make your power your weakness. You know what I mean? Real shit right there. But I'm going to close it out like that, man. Ward going to do the damn thing with the Kovalev thing, and they going to keep hating on him even more, man. It's like Ward saying that when he said, like, hey, when you get to reading the reports and it's just never nothing good, they say you just got to chalk that up and just go on about your life, man. You know, because you already know it's something else. You know, that's what Ward was saying without saying. He was saying he know what it is. He was saying that he know they hating on him because he a black fighter. You know what I mean? He know what's up. You know what I'm saying? But Ward ain't going to get him. And that's one thing, too, I like about Ward. He don't get him the satisfaction of letting them bother him like that, get to him. You know what I'm saying? He don't give him that satisfaction. He just rub it off like, man, I'm just going to go out here and do what I do. You know what I'm saying? LDBC. And I'll holler.